The official drink of America First. To the hostile takeover of the Republican Party.
Absolutely. We are honored, we are humbled and excited to welcome to the stage right now for our first speech, and we love to get to know her much better. I think this is going to be the beginning of something great. The representative from Georgia, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
You don't often see two of the most deplorable figures in MAGA world turn on each other quite like Laura Loomer and Marjorie Taylor Greene have in the past 24 hours. And while they're both disgusting, deeply bigoted liars who offer nothing of value to our society and exist solely to spread hate and feed their inflated egos, we say, let them go after each other. Let them fight with one another.
We have a lot of great friends and a lot of great people. Laura, how are you? You look so beautiful, as always. That's a woman with courage. You don't want to be Loomered. If you're Loomered, you're in deep trouble. That's the end of your career, in a sense. Thanks, Laura. Also joining us tonight are Georgia representatives Marjorie Taylor Greene. I love Marjorie Taylor Greene.
In practice, there's not much separating the two, other than Loomer failing miserably in 2 runs at Congress and Greene slowly making a career out of being a hateful bigot. They share the same white nationalist belief system, have both been praised and accepted by Trump, Nick Fuentes, and the broader white nationalist movement, and have made names for themselves by saying some of the most offensive, outlandish, and unhinged things you will ever hear.
I strongly believe that the FBI works with the Democrat Party to carry out mass shooting false flags so that they can actually push for gun control. I think that the FBI recruits, pays, and trains mass shooters.
They want black people to believe that white people are racist and Republicans are racist and President Trump is a racist so they can keep the black vote. If anything, they're trying to keep the black people in a modern day form of slavery. It's a slavery system to keep their vote. It's all about control.
While it's certainly true that the Dems at large should be doing a lot more to uplift the black community and enact systemic change to do so, it is laughable for either of them to give the Dems as much credit as Loomer and Marge have. They don't need to work with the FBI to recruit and train shooters because the societal conditions already exist, largely because of Republican Party policies and lack thereof on guns, social services, mental health care, and public education. And we'd be here all day if we went through all of the examples of the Republican Party being openly hostile to anyone who is not white.
But that doesn't make me a racist because I say leave the statue up there. If I were black people today and I walked by one of those statues, I would be so proud because I'd say, look how far I have come in this country. Look how far my people have, what they have overcome. And these are good things. I know a ton of white people that are as lazy and sorry and probably worse than black people I know. And I would not hire them because they're lazy and they're sorry and they're pathetic. I'm going to stand up for white males here. The most mistreated group of people in the United States today are white males. They are blamed for everything. They're the scapegoat. Everything bad in America is because of white men. That's what you're told. That's what the media wants to tell you. That's what the Democrats want to tell you. They want to blame everything on white men because white men are bad and white men are racist and white men want to hold everybody down. They just want to be successful themselves.
If you legitimately believe that white males need someone to stand up for them, we have a bridge to sell you. And as you know by now, Loomer is also willing to sacrifice herself for the ever-oppressed white males. Even taking things a step further than Greene, though, she'd still approve of this message.
I'm a really big supporter of the Christian nationalist movement. I support Christians. I'm going to fight for Christians. I'm going to fight for white people. I'm going to fight for nationalist movements. I'm going to fight against the anti-white racism that is being, perpetuated. I'm going to fight for all Americans, really. All freedom-loving Americans, regardless of their background. But there is clearly a war on white people. There's clearly a war on Christianity in this country. Even though I am Jewish, I'm still going to fight for Christian nationalists. And I find that most of my friends and most of my allies and most of the people who I associate these days with are Christian nationalists.
It is truly sad to see someone stoop to this level just to be a part of what she perceives as the in-group, when said group will never truly accept her because of her faith. Christian nationalism doesn't leave room for any other religion, and she will at most be tolerated by her so-called friends because she's spreading their message from a different cultural and religious background. Now, with all this in mind, let's introduce the Laura Loomer tweet that sparked this public feud. After Kamala Harris's campaign tweeted out an old picture of the VP visiting her grandparents in India, Loomer responded with this racist tweet, playing into gross played-out stereotypes, which shockingly elicited a response from Greene, replying to Loomer by calling out her racism and hilariously asserting that Loomer's tweet does not represent MAGA, the Republican Party, or Donald Trump's beliefs. It's hard to articulate the amount of cognitive dissonance and delusions Greene must have been experiencing to make such a comically false claim, but this is what really set Loomer off, where she let loose on Greene in another tweet, first doubling down on her racism against VP Harris, before claiming that she has access to a video of Marge saying the N-word from one of her former staffers while highlighting the irony of an anti-Semite like Greene calling her a racist. And Loomer would keep going, bringing up her history of cheating and being disloyal to Donald Trump. There's a lot to go over here, but one thing is quite clear. These people are both awful human beings who do not deserve your sympathy, and neither one of them deserve praise for calling each other out. But after reading Greene's response tweet from the morning after her Twitter fight with Loomer, this exchange shows all of us that there may be some legitimate fracturing happening within the Republican Party. Based on the language of this tweet, Greene may be playing the long game and making a career decision to stay in power long after Trump is gone as head of their party. Loomer is not an official Trump campaign employee, nor does she have any political power. So if she can't latch onto and leech off another figure like Trump in the future, her political career may be over quicker than she expected. But Greene, who is almost guaranteed to lock down her Republican-dominated district in perpetuity, may be seeing the writing on the wall and is shifting toward more moderate rhetoric to distance herself from the heavily negative media coverage Loomer and Trump have been facing since Loomer was filmed leaving Trump's plane before the debate against Harris. We don't, and you should not think, that Greene will do a complete 180 on her beliefs and abandon her shared views with Loomer. But it's interesting to see how two people so closely aligned on virtually every single issue can turn on each other at a moment's notice. Calling out elite people in comedy should be the rule of thumb.
I think Donald Trump's hair is actually another creature.
Yeah.
The hair's like going, good night, Donald. Good night, Donald. There we go.
Maybe it goes out and makes money while he's asleep.
There is something about punching down that feels taboo, and punching up is the way to go.
Crack's not really my thing, but if it was, it would be fine if I was on that side.
Wow.
Don Jr.'s on coke.
We won with poorly educated. I love the poorly educated. I'm a very stable genius.
It is very important, the work that the Jordan Kleppers are doing, the work that the Good Liars are doing, the work that our team here at the Turks are doing, and many more.
What he does, he secretly puts the marker on the end of the putter, and then he looks like he's marking it, but really, now the mark is 3 feet closer. That's a way easier putt.
He cheats a lot. That if you cheat at golf, you cheat at life. The saying goes for Donald Trump.